Hello, it's the Friday Talkie. Whether I actually get this to you on a Friday remains to be seen. I'm kind of being held up with stuff. Apologies if you can hear some background noise. Andrea's got the Hoover going downstairs. Yes, got a few things to talk to you about. Starting with a bit more about Blackpool. Blackpool, replay, Play Expo, whatever you want to call it. Still fairly buzzing about it at the moment. I keep watching other people's videos that they took there or have recorded since, and I'm just getting the feel that everyone found it brilliant, and I think for most people it was all about the people. You know, it was cool to play the games. Anyone who's not noticed, not been paying attention, I put up a video on, what day was it? Monday? Tuesday? Can't remember. Probably Tuesday. Of my play experience, and you will see lots of other YouTubers in it who are listed in the info below there. I was amused to find that I wasn't the only person who sometimes found that there would be people saying hello and they didn't necessarily straight away know who they are, and I found that really it's something I actually expected. There was no one who said hello who, when I found out who they are, I had never heard of. I had heard of everyone. But it's difficult when you do this to put the face to the voice, or even put the face to the face, if that makes sense. More than one occasion I bumped into someone who I knew from YouTube and have watched their videos. But there's a thing when you're watching a YouTube video, the lighting is specific and you're looking at them straight on, and you kind of get to know them. They look like that. You know me sitting here, and a lot of people when they met me said, wow, you're short, because there is this perception I'm always sitting when you see me. You have no idea how tall I am, or rather aren't. Yeah, and it's like that. I find I'm bad with faces, and if I've only seen, you know, a couple of videos of someone, and most of the time they're doing gameplay and stuff, more than once I was like, I know the face but I can't place it. But I cheated. In the end I found the easiest thing I could do, where there wasn't that embarrassing, what's your name, was I pointed a camera at everyone. Whether I knew them or recognised them or not, everyone got the camera treatment, or very nearly everyone, and it's like, right, tell them who you are then, where what I'm thinking is, now actually tell me who you are. And every single one, you know, when I heard the name, it was like, of course it is. Yeah, but I found that like quite a useful ploy, trick, whatever, to avoid the awkwardness of like, yeah, I know you, but... and I know I wasn't the only one who experienced that. But it was epic. So many people. But I mean, I've covered all of that. I was asked by Daniel Cordell, when I was talking about the Oculus Rift and how brilliant it was, he said, isn't it a shame there wasn't someone there videoing you so we could see what you looked like while you were using it? Well, actually someone was, and I didn't even know it at the time. Ben, Shenmueso, you crafty bugger, he was videoing me, and he sent me the video. So I'm going to show it to you now. Here it is. And with the magic of editing, here I am again. I haven't moved. I didn't even hit the stop button, but you didn't know that. Yeah, so that's how daft you look whilst wearing an Oculus Rift. You didn't capture me talking to it, which is good. I stopped quite shortly after starting. I realised, no, doing my normal thing and talking to the game while sitting there with an audience, if you like. Yeah. So I stopped talking to the game, and you can't see me nearly fall off my chair, or it felt like I was falling off my chair. But yeah, I was quite pleased when Ben said he'd recorded that. So thank you again, Ben. Not only coaxed me to have a go on it, but recorded the thing as well. Awesome. I was also asked, I've been asked quite a few times actually, what did I buy? What did I get? What games, what systems, whatever. What did I buy while I was there? Absolutely nothing. And there is a reason for that. When I went, I told myself, I'm not going to buy anything unless I see something that I really, really, really want that's selling for a really, really good price. And there wasn't. I mean, opinions on the prices of the things there are varied. Personally, I don't think anything was a big rip-off. But on the other hand, I don't think anything there was a bargain either. The prices were what I would expect to see shopping either on eBay or in cash converters or whatever. You know, it was just things were going for pretty much the average going rate, I think. A few things a bit more, a few things a bit less. But there was nothing that jumped up and down and screamed buy me. So I didn't. And the other reason I didn't was I was saving my money for something I had seen a couple of days before in a local cash converters of all places. I had seen this thing and said to myself, if I don't buy something at Play, Blackpool, I'm going to buy this when I come back. And I didn't buy anything while I was there, so I'm going to show you what it is. I'm picking the camera up while it's on the tripod. Is this little beauty. That is an Atari XEGS. They had it in cash converters for the very reasonable sum of £40, which they'd had it there before, like for months, for $79.99, and I just looked at it and thought, no bloody way. Didn't have a power supply, had 4, maybe 5 cartridges and some tapes with it, and it's got the tape deck, the joystick, the light gun, the keyboard, and a graphics tablet, which you can't see here, and it is boxed. I have the box is a bit tatty, but it's all in one piece. And for 40 quid, minus the 40 quid minus the power supply, I thought that's alright, because I've got Atari 65XE, which that thing's based on, so I figured that will probably work with it. And it does. I turned it on, stuck one of the cartridges that came with it in it, and it did nothing but give me a diagnostic screen. I thought, here we go, this thing's going to be bollocks. I took the cartridge out, turned it on, and it booted straight into Missile Command, which I didn't realise is like the built-in game like you get with other consoles, like your Master System has built-in games. That's got built-in Missile Command, which is pretty cool. Plug the keyboard in and it boots into, I guess it's Atari Basic, which was cool as well. So yeah, I tried the cartridges again, and they all needed cleaning, and all but one now work. I gave them the cotton bud and window cleaning solution fix, if you like. Clear window clean. That's what I use to clean my cartridges. That and a cotton bud, or if you're American, Q-tip. I don't know why you call them that. Q-tip to me sounds like something you have on the end of your snooker cue. But anyway, clean the cartridges up with that, and all but one of them work. The one that doesn't work, I'll have another go at. But that's why I bought nothing at Play Blackpool, because I bought that thing, and I think 40 quid, not bad at all, because they're not uber rare, but they're quite rare. You don't see them. Well, I had a look on eBay when I bought that, I thought, I'll have a look, see what they're selling for, and there wasn't one. So I thought, okay, slightly rare. That's that. What else? Yes. Where is it? I have got to say a big, big thank you to, I've got to find his, here we go. That's not it either. Where is he? Here he is. Big G from SA. That being Big G from South Africa, who asked me if I would like, so he got some spare Nintendo DS games, unboxed but with instructions, because he wanted the boxes, because he'd got them unboxed. And you don't need to know the story, but the fact is, he sent me these, all the way from South Africa, and utterly chuffed. Astrology, I haven't actually tried that one yet. That will be interesting. I'm a Virgo, for anyone who's wondering. I'm a pernickety, picky, judgmental bastard. Perfect. Aliens Infestation. I've had a quick go at that and found that fascinating. And Eco Soccer. Ico? I don't know. I don't know anything about that yet either. So I will find out, and no doubt do videos of those. And we do have instructions with them as well. Instructions? I don't understand. I do actually look and read instructions on the occasions that I get stuck in games, but that's generally not while making videos. And oh yeah, we've got the box, like the sleeves. Quite literally, he wanted the boxes, so that's cool. Very, very big thank you to Big G from South Africa. I really do appreciate it. I know, I was chuffed. I mean, I was kind of, I thought South Africa, I don't know. I mean, are these things region specific? No, they're not, because they worked. I tried the Aliens one and it worked. And I will be playing with them in due course. Do check out his channel as well, because he's got some very interesting stuff on there. He's just, and 2 days ago, at last, my first Amstrad. Because I guess Amstrads are not a thing in South Africa. And yeah, I mean, I first encountered him when I did a live chat a few weeks ago. He turned up in there, and I took a quick look at his channel while we were chatting, and I subscribed straight away because he's got some cool stuff on there. And it's Spectre Video SV328, catalogues, manuals and books. It's interesting to see a perspective on gaming from somewhere that you don't hear very often. I mean, you get plenty of Brits and Europeans and Americans and the odd Aussie and Kiwi and whatnot, but he's the first person I've come across from South Africa who's putting up videos. And it's good to see a different perspective. Okay, so thank you again. Much appreciated. Now, right, couple of video responses. First one is from Lawnboy's Post. I haven't responded to one of his for a little while. So, he asks, is there a stigma about emulation? My thoughts and how I use it, in brackets. There kind of is, and I suppose it depends who you ask, because there are gamers and there are collectors, and then there are collectors of hardware and collectors of software, and I think everyone's opinion or attitude towards emulation varies. To a collector of hardware, if they're really, really serious about it, emulation is a complete irrelevance. I'm a collector of hardware, but I'm also a gamer. So I don't have your well, I won't say stereotypical, I don't have the attitude you might think I have. I don't ever use emulation to make my videos. I tell a lie, I have once used an emulator. No, I use MAME actually. Yes, I do use MAME because I don't have the arcade cabinets. But you know, if it's a console game or a computer game and I've got the computer, I don't need the emulation. And it's all about legitimate hardware and blah blah. Anyway, you know that. That's how I kind of operate. But I think there is a place for emulation, and that is, as a gamer, if there is a system I don't have and there is a game I want to play, I have no qualms about emulating that. Mostly for me this is arcade games. I mean, Atari Star Wars, the only way I'm going to get to play that when I'm at home is with an emulator. You know, there are computer conversions, but they're not as close to the original as using MAME, so I use MAME. Yeah, I think as gamers I see no reason for anyone to turn their nose up at emulation. I don't understand. I do understand why a hardware collector might, but for people who just want to play games, I don't see why anyone would have a problem. I know some people do, but I don't understand why. Unless they're collectors, I suppose. If you're into collecting the games, like, I mean, I've got a big row of PS2 games there and PS1 games there and stuff. And if you're collecting games, the proper genuine original discs, cartridges, whatever, I can see how it would be to see someone's like, oh, I've got every single game for this system on ROM. It's like, yes, so what? I understand that. But that's collecting. And for some people, well, they just collect ROMs, and I suppose it's a different kind of collection. Horses for courses, really, isn't it? I mean, in terms of space, emulation is perfect, because one computer maybe, and everything's on the hard drive, and you don't need a room with shelves full of stuff. I mean, I've got everything in one room, and this room is so jam-packed tight that, well, you can see the carpet, but it's snug in here. It's very cosy. Emulation, you know, you could sit in a cupboard with your computer and have everything in it, and probably still have room to spare. The other thing is, in the long term, all of this will die. Electronic components fail. Doesn't matter if they're moving parts or not. They will fail. They will stop working. And if history is to be able to look back and know what people played in years gone by, and that's going to happen. I mean, it's going to... I don't know if the Oculus Rift is the future and virtual reality will be it, and whatever, but whatever gaming becomes, people are going to want to be able to look back and say, this is how it began, this is what people used to play. I've been watching this set of DVDs, it's like British cities now and then, and it's got views of Doncaster and York and Sheffield and Rotherham from up to 100 years ago through to maybe the 1930s and a bit of the 1960s, and it's showing like how the towns looked and how transport was and everything, and then it compares it with how it is, I would say now, but it's actually from 1995. But you know, it's fascinating to look at that and see how things are different, and like there were trams, loads of trams, and trolley buses all over the place, which are like electric powered buses but not on rails. Fascinating. And people are going to want that experience, looking back at how gaming was compared to how it will be. And alright, we're going to have videos like whatever's on YouTube, should it still exist, but emulation will be the way to do it, because these will be dead. They will have stopped working, mostly. A great deal of them will be dead, and if you just everyday person who doesn't have a museum full of carefully restored and repaired computers and things, the only way will be emulation. And in that sense I think it's very important. It matters that every game, I think, when it's no longer commercially available or a going concern, should be ripped. it should be archived. It should be playable on an emulator. I think it's very important. History matters. Understanding where we came from, how we got here, every aspect of history, and that includes gaming. That's my thoughts on that. Well, that was quite serious, wasn't it? Okay, moving on. TRexSpaceStation has done a competition, 10 random questions competition. He's got a prize, £50 Amazon voucher, which is cool for the winner. I'm not doing this for the prize. I'm not opting out of the prize, but I'm doing it because it's fun. I like answering questions. So, 10 questions. What advice would you give to someone starting out on YouTube? Where to start? First, I suppose it depends what you're doing. And I was chatting to someone at Play Blackpool who said he was thinking about doing a channel, but he was nervous. He was nervous about pointing the camera at himself and talking, and thought he'd feel awkward and embarrassed, and, you know, what would I recommend? What advice could I give him? So, I'll tell you what I told him. Tell me who you are, by the way, because I didn't know. He's one of those I didn't point the camera at and say, tell him who you are. So I didn't know who he was. I would say, to begin with, don't upload to start with. Get yourself used to what it is you're doing. First and foremost, know what it is that you want to do. Whatever your subject matter is, needs to be something you're interested in. Never mind what you think any potential audience might want. Forget the audience to begin with. You're doing it for yourself, for your own enjoyment. And before you go diving in head first and upload the first thing you've recorded, don't. Record something and then watch it, and then don't upload it, and then record something else and watch it, and then don't upload it, and see what you think about how it looks, about what you've done. Are you happy with it? Do you look awkward? Do you look rabbit in the headlights? Do you know, are you happy with it? What could be improved? Then record it again, taking those things into account. Get yourself used to talking on camera or while playing a game. I mean, I suppose if you're playing a game, it just really doesn't matter. You can get away with talking absolute bollocks, because my God, I do. But certainly, practice, record it, look at what you're doing, and all the time you're doing that, you know you're not going to upload it, you know that no one is going to see it but you, and you don't have to be shy, because the only person who's going to see it is you. And keep doing that until you're so completely used to talking to the camera, you reach a point where you think, that's a pretty good take, upload that one. And I would say that's what I did. It's not what I did, and I wish it was what I'd done, because the first video I did talking to camera was pretty awkward. And that's coming from a person who'd spent several years talking on webcams. I used to do the webcam chat thing live all the time, every night for a few years. So it was kind of easier for me. But then there was someone talking back at me. But yeah, practice, don't upload until you're happy. That's the advice I would give to you, whoever you may be, if you're thinking about doing a YouTube channel. Don't do it for the money, do it for the fun. Don't do it for your audience, do it for yourself. Practice recording and don't upload until you've got something where you think, that's a good one, then upload it. Question 2. What was the last game you completed? Tell you what, it was a while ago, and it was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Yep, and I haven't completed anything since then. Mostly when I do complete games, it is first-person shooters. Yeah, I finished Modern Warfares 1 and 2, and I completed... Where are they? I'm looking over there and I can't see them, and I can't remember the name. What the hell was it called? Resistance. Downfall of Man, is it called? Resistance 1 and 2. I finished both of them. And they were good, but I didn't bother buying 3 because they did that whole activation nonsense thing that I just thought bollocks. Yeah. What's the most disappointing game you've ever owned? Well, there would be some old games back in the Amiga type era that were pretty bad, and even on the Acorn Electron, but I can't remember the names of them. But among recent games, what's it called? Little Big Planet. Yeah, Little Big Planet. I had read lots and lots of hype about it, and it was going to be a creative masterpiece in that you were the one creating it. I thought it was going to be some kind of cool game construction program that was easy to use. And I know a lot of people did really great things with it, but I found the learning curve on it was quite steep. I found it very unintuitive. I found, while the narration by Stephen Fry was great and made it entertaining, and the actual process of learning how to create with it was like a game in itself, I found it quite difficult to get into, and I left it for a couple of days or a week or something, got distracted, and when I came back to it I'd forgotten everything. I just couldn't remember what to do, and to get back into it I would have had to have started back at the start, and I couldn't be bothered. So yeah, I was disappointed because the hype and what I had expected, I thought I'll be able to make games with this, something that someone else can play and enjoy, and it just really wasn't. And maybe it's my own preconceptions were wrong, almost certainly, but I was disappointed. It's by no means a bad thing, a bad program, I hesitate to call it game, by no means bad, but it wasn't what I was hoping for, and I was fairly disappointed. Question 4. What was your favourite arcade game back in the day? Yeah, I don't need to answer this. You know, Shenmueso answered the same here as well. It is Atari Star Wars, and many people of pretty much our age group are likely to say something quite similar. Atari Star Wars, for me, is just epic. I love that game, and give me an arcade cabinet and I won't say I'll kick its ass, but I'll do reasonably adequately at it. Not playing badly, so you can see what it looks like. Or not, because I didn't ask Mark to turn I didn't give him my camera, I should have. Anyway, moving on. 5. Do you prefer PC or console gaming, and why? I prefer... Actually, no. Prefer is not the right word for me. I like either because it's gaming. I mean, I've got old computers and I've got old consoles, and I really don't separate them in my head. It's gaming, and I don't care what it's on. Now, current modern games that I play are on the PS3, and a little bit on the 3DS, and a little bit on Android, and not very much on the PC. And that's not because I dislike PC gaming, it's purely because my PC just plain doesn't have the power, and I have yet to bother to spend the money to upgrade it so that it can play decent modern games. And it's not even that I couldn't afford to do it, because it needs a new power supply and it needs a graphics card, and then it would be quite capable. But I have got so many games to play that I haven't played yet on modern and older consoles. I see no sense in spending the money to upgrade the PC. You know, I've got PS3 games that still have yet to be played. No sense in it. So yeah, I'm a console gamer when it comes to the more current hardware, but it's not because of any preference. It's just I can't justify spending the money to upgrade my PC just now. But I do go through phases whenever I get a new PC, and I only get them, I mean, the gaps between PCs for me are very wide. It will be, I've had this one for a couple of years, and it'll be a couple of years more before I get another one. My last PC before this one I had for 8 years. If it hadn't blown up, I would still be using it now because it did the job. Yeah, so console, but only because it's what I've got that's more capable at the moment. What is your favourite shoot 'em up? I'm unsure how to answer this, because how are you defining shoot 'em up? That could be old school, base at the bottom, left and right, fire up the screen. It could be on rails shooter. It could be first person shoot 'em up. I don't know. So could be Star Wars, couldn't it? Atari Star Wars, is that a shoot 'em up? It's an semi on rails. I don't know. I mean, I could say Res. That's on rails. Love that. They're a Defender. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, there are too many variations. I honestly can't give you a straight answer on that one. 7. Has a game ever made you laugh out loud? Which game? Lots of them. Mostly sandbox games, Grand Theft Auto games, and The Getaway, where you can do stupid things. Those make me laugh. Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas, I spent quite an amount of time just sitting in my car listening to the radio, to the talk radio shows, and laughing my head off at it because the presenters are so demented. Yeah, so extreme in their dementedness, I find them hysterically funny. The Getaway, more just for being able to do stupid things. That's made me laugh a lot. I mean, there was I did the whole walk up behind us unsuspecting pedestrian, grab them, have them beg for mercy, and then break their neck thing. And there was something kind of, it was quite sick. And that actually didn't make me laugh. I found it fascinating for a bit, kind of morbid. And really quite disturbing as well. But I think just some of the really daft things you can do, and the foul language at it. Yeah, my niece, when she was very young, probably, I don't know, 12, maybe not even that, and I forgot about the language, and I let her play it, and then some pedestrian who she nearly ran over yelled, "Oi, wanker!" And my sister gave me a dirty look, and quite rightly so. Yeah, those kind of games, they make me laugh. If you could go for a drink with a video game character, who would it be and what would you talk about? Now, I'll tell you what. I would take Mario for a drink, and I would get him blind drunk, absolutely, utterly plastered out of his face. And then I would nail him up in a barrel and throw it over Niagara Falls. That would do. Number 9. What's your favourite licensed video game? Star Wars, isn't it? I don't buy film license games at all. I've got some, but I didn't buy them, and I generally don't. I just don't care. The whole crossover thing from film to game, I just don't give a crap, except for Star Wars, because it's Star Wars. And it's a fantastic game in its own right that comes from an iconic film, and yeah, I care about that when I just don't care about any others at all. So it's Atari Star Wars is to me the best. There are other good ones. Sega Star Wars Arcade is pretty decent on the Model 1 arcade board thing. And what's that GameCube thing? Thingy, Shadow Squadron, is it? One of them? Shadow Squadron 2? One of those anyway. It's on the GameCube. I did a video of it. I thought that was decent as well. Yes, the flying the spaceship, preferably X-Wing fighter type space shooty Star Wars games. In particular the Atari one. Okay then, and this comes quite well, nicely sentence. Number 10. Give a shout out to another channel, because I've been meaning to do a shout out for a while now, and I do have a channel that I do want to shout out. And it is a chap whose first name I actually don't know his second name either, but his channel is called The Awesome Gamer. Gamer spelled G-A-M-R in the URL. Anyway, I'll link to it down there. He's a young lad. I would say he's in his teens. I don't know how far into his teens. I can't tell you because I don't know. But he's good. He's from across the pond. I don't know exactly where. I will say American, but then if he's Canadian, he'll probably kick me or something. Anyway, I mean, as an old git, and I'm 45, I'm not going to say, I don't look down my nose at younger gamers and younger YouTubers. That would be wrong. What I don't necessarily do is take them seriously, because frequently I can't learn anything from them that I don't know already about retro gaming. They can teach me a ton of stuff about modern gaming, no doubt about it, but I don't really care that much about modern gaming. I play it, but I'm like, yeah, it's not where my attention is. So younger gamers, it's difficult for them to get my attention. And if it's not going to be with knowledge, it has to be with force of personality, and that's where this guy comes in. He has charisma on camera, and that's an unusual thing in a lad that age. You'll probably not be thankful for me calling him a lad. Sorry, I'm old. What do you want? Yeah, he has charisma on camera. He knows how to talk to the camera and hold your attention, and he's talking, you know, game of the week, random videos, my NES collection of the moment. Let's talk about Sega handhelds from something. Game of the week, number 14. Atari games worth playing. Gaming topics on retro hardware. He's just sitting, looking at the camera and talking to you, and he does it very well. And it's not an easy thing to do, to just sit here, go blah at this piece of plastic and glass, and hold a viewer's attention. And he does. He holds mine, and I'm not an easy person to keep interested. So he does that, which to my mind says he's pretty damn good. So that is The Awesome Gamer. He gets my shout out. Do check him out. Worth a look. Yes, that's all of my topics and things I wanted to chat about. So what have I got coming up then? Do you know what? I haven't even thought about that now. I've got a few more games that Stu Ninja Bear Hug gave me, so I'm going to play some of them. I have got a couple of N64 games that I haven't done videos of yet because they're on the shelf up there and it's high and I can't bloody reach them without standing on a chair. But since I've got the N64 out to play these games that Stu gave me, I'll play them. And then I'll see what's next. There's a good chance I will have a go at these here DS games that were sent all the way from South Africa by Big G from South Africa. And then I am likely to get back onto the Sega stuff on the EverDrive, but that's probably a good couple of weeks away. Oh, and I will do a system overview, if not full review, of that Atari XEGS, because several people, as soon as they knew I'd got one, said please do a review or overview or something. So I will, because it is an interesting piece of kit. That's all. That was a good long waffle. Probably. I'll shut up now. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider clicking the thumbs up button. I upload videos daily, so go ahead and hit subscribe if you'd like to see more. To all those who've already subscribed, I'd just like to say a great big thank you.